Is
I hate
asked to leave?
working.
Is that a firing? If you've been asked to leave, aren't you
That is
fired?
a firing. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
a
nice way of
firing.
saying you're
It's
fired.
like that is one job. Like I what led to one of my arrests was I was working for this this white kid I was in school with. His uncle owned a pharmacy, and oh my God, we ran so many schemes, and it did lead to it led to everything, to the complete downfall. But at one point I was supposed to be delivering these medicines, and I was just dipping into the bags, Percocets, Speed, Valium. I can't even remember everything. And I was so twisted, I drove the car into a pole. Oh my God, I'm just now remembering all this. Drove the car into a pole, wrecked the car, and then somehow managed the delivery to this elderly place. And then by the time I got back with the busted car, like barely wobbling into the thing, the woman had already called back. And so he comes out, he wanted to greet me to find out why her bag was light. Like she was like, where are all my pills? And then he sees me sort of falling out of the car, and he sees the car all busted up. And he's like, well, now I see where the pills went. And then all he said was, he just said, please don't come in tomorrow. That's what I'm saying.
Who are you?
Dr. Ball. I am
That is one of the greatest stories.
Drop the mic.
That's why when I'm looking at my 17-year-old now,
I've heard that story. That is one of the greatest.
Unfortunately, there's so many like that.
Stealing the old people's prescription.
Oh my God, we stole their credit cards. Oh my God, we did all kinds. I was so out of control. It was so out of control. And then we ended up stealing two big. I had gotten thrown out of the house. I was living in cars and in parking lots. And
whose house did you get thrown out of?
My mother's
house. Oh, after that,
no, this was before. Like I'm telling it all out of order now, but I had gotten thrown out. And
look, I am in church. Look, I gotta fan myself. That was so good. I was like, oof. If I was not on the air, I would be on the floor right now.
That's a testimony. Keep preaching, Doc. Let's go.
No, I called the police on myself because my mother threw me out, and I was like, but I'm 17, and it was August. It was hot as hell. I was like, I got nowhere to go. What are you doing? I called the police. It was like, she can't throw me out. And they showed up. These two white cops show up. And look, I guess, white privilege, mixed privilege, whatever. I got, it could have gone really, because they go in and they find all that I had stolen property. I had drug paraphernalia. I mean, they came out and said, they said something like, you're lucky we're not arresting you. Your mother's right. And they just left. And I was SOL. I was like, and then that's what started the whole thing. So then I went out, then we're doing all this. I'm trying to deliver the pharmaceuticals. I'm taking the pharmaceuticals. I'm storing these big jars of pharmaceutical Speed and Valium, and got little baggies. And then my plan was I'm going to sell them, and I'm going to get on my feet and get an apartment. I had this.
I like it.
This is better than Snowfall. Keep going.
No, it was a short-lived scheme because I don't know what I'm doing. And then, of course, oh my God, this is so comical, man. It's so comical. If I tell the whole, like, it'll get like this.
We've got time.
This associated friend who, like, he had put me up for a night. He takes me to a party. We get twisted. He comes back. He throws up. His white parents blame me and throw me out again. Because they thought he took me to his party. He got twisted and threw all up when he got home, and I got thrown out when they. So that, anyway, so then he goes to this TCBY yogurt place in Reston, Virginia.
Damn,
West Virginia.
Reston, Virginia.
This is how we ended up. We took the pills from Maryland into Virginia. This becomes a big deal, though. This becomes oddly a big deal. Mm-hmm. He goes to this TCBY, gets into it with his girlfriend or whatever, and hits her or something like that, and then leaves. So the police come to get him. Meanwhile, I'm coming stumbling out of the grocery store where I had just stolen all this food. And I see this other friend of mine getting arrested because the police were looking for the other one. And meanwhile, they find the one I was with and all the stuff we had stolen and all the drugs and all the stuff in the car. And I'm so twisted. I come out, candy bars, food falling out of it. And the grocery store guy comes out behind me. And he's like, he pointing the cop, and I'm looking at the cop like, what are you doing? And the cop's looking at me like, what are you doing? And then the grocery store guy comes out and he's like, that guy stole all that food. And I'm like, what guy? And all this food is dropping out. So the cop, he's like, anyways, oh my God. So he's like, he looks, they find the big jars of pills, all these little baggies, stolen, trafficking a non-controlled or an uncontrolled substance across state lines, federal offense.
Woo.
You're going to, my Lord, everything. You're going to prison. You're looking at 3 years. Join the Navy. That's how I ended up, going into the Navy. But that was
wow.
Yeah. Anyway, that was some wild. Jeez. It was wild.
We're gonna have to clip this.
Yeah, this is the best story I've ever heard.
This is a screenplay. What are y'all talking about? This needs to be a BPM film production. Like,
oh man, and there's more. There's more. What? Like anyway, there's so much. There's so many. So there's so many more of those versions of that and extensions of that story. Like, it's crazy. So I look at my own 17-year-old is really where I'm at right now. And I'm like, I was her age when all this was happening. And I can't even, it's just insane. And then the serious part is just to think like more people, particularly Blacker and poorer people, don't make it out of that. Mm-hmm. Like they either end up in the Navy with me or it gets worse and you just go way, 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 way down. So, but yeah, I had all that plan. I had a plan. I'm gonna move these pills